On June 30th, 2023, Fury 325 at Carowinds was operating normally. A guest was waiting outside the park to pick up their kids when they noticed something strange, what appeared to be a crack in one of the supports for the coaster. They took a short video and alerted park personnel. Fury 325 was shut down for investigation. The investigation would be headed by Carowinds in collaboration with the North Carolina Department of Labor and several outside agencies. They would seek to determine what had caused the crack. First, though, we must discuss if the crack put riders in any danger. Roller coasters are all about redundancy, meaning there are multiple things standing in the way of any catastrophic failure. That is showcased by this incident, as the investigators would find that the track and the rest of the ride's structure was not damaged by the cracked support. Likely, the ride could have operated like this for several days before serious damage would have occurred and riders would have been in any real danger. So while this incident looks very serious, in reality, riders were never in any danger, unlike most other What Really Happened videos. But it still provides an interesting insight into the world of metal fatigue and ride inspections. Shortly after the ride was closed, a crane was set up to support the track section, and the broken support number C47, was removed from the ride. The support would be analyzed by the outside firm Applied Technical Services, or ATS. They specialize in metal fatigue analysis. ATS would examine the failed support closely, completing a visual analysis under a scanning electron microscope, chemical testing, metallography, and mechanical testing. The full results of all of these tests are linked in the description. They found that support C47 was made of AISI 1015 carbon steel. This steel was up to spec and was the steel designed to be used according to the ride's manufacturer, Bolliger & Mabillard, or B&M. Support C47 consisted of three main components: the main support tube, a secondary lateral support tube, and a connection to the track. At the point where the secondary lateral support tube met the main support near the track connection is where they determined the crack had started. The crack had formed originally in the steel next to the weld where the three sections connected. The welded steel was harder than the steel around it. This is normal and considered good practice. This unfortunately had the unintentional effect of making the softer steel near the weld into a weak spot. Over time, thousands of trains passed over this weak spot, putting a lateral load on the support column. Eventually, this caused cracks to form near the weld in the softer steel. Over time, these cracks grew larger and more numerous with each passing train. It can't be determined when exactly the first crack formed. However, it's likely it occurred after February 23, 2023, when the ride was state inspected for the year, as this process usually involves a very thorough check of the ride, both from the state and from the park. As these cracks continued to exist without being repaired and hundreds of more trains continued to pass over them, they grew. By around June 23rd, the crack was large enough to be seen in videos when a train passed over. Though at this point in time it was not obvious to anyone, and footage from this day showing the crack would only be discovered after the complete breakage of support C47. Carowinds continued to inspect the ride daily. This involved a visual track walk to look for any problems with the ride. This included looking for cracks. Generally speaking, cracks on steel roller coasters are fairly common. If you look at just about any steel roller coaster, you'll be able to find weld marks from where track or supports are repaired by welding, often due to cracks. Whole sections of track will sometimes even be replaced due to this. It's something that maintenance teams are trained to look for and something that happens on every steel roller coaster. Quite simply, the maintenance team at Carowinds failed to find the developing crack on support C47 and signed off that the ride was in good condition. We'll discuss more on what Carowinds has implemented since this incident, as it may shed some light on why the crack was missed. On June 30th, Fury 325 would again be signed off for operation by maintenance, still not noticing the developing crack. At this point, the crack had existed for at least a week, but was somewhat hidden due to the design of the ride's supports. Near the end of the day, on June 30th, the crack would finally expand enough that the remaining steel was unable to support the weight of a loaded train passing over it, and the crack became a break in the support. Shortly after this happened, the ride would be shut down. The broken support C47 would be replaced with a new one fabricated by B&M in Ohio on July 14th. Testing of the ride as well as a thorough inspection would then take place. The inspection would find 6 other cracks on supports of the ride, ranging in size from 2 to 4 inches. The new cracks would be re-welded according to B&M guidelines. The ride would be cycled over 500 times with simulated riders. Fury 325 would reopen to guests on August 10, 2023, just a little over a month after the incident. The ride continues to operate safely today. Fury 325 was made by B&M, who are known for being the best ride manufacturer in the world, especially when it comes to quality. Accordingly, this incident raised a lot of questions. The investigation would find that B&M had done everything right. The ride was designed properly and fabricated correctly. The incident was the result of a common problem occurring and not being noticed in time. The state of North Carolina, who inspected the ride, found no fault to any party, but did order that Carowinds increase their visual inspections of ride structures. Carowinds has responded by implementing a new drone inspection program to allow for more frequent checks of hard-to-reach and hard-to-see areas on rides. Carowinds is one of the first parks to implement drone inspections, and if the program is a success, you can expect to hear about it at more parks in the future. Carowinds remains one of the safest parks in the country, and incidents like this showcase both the incredible safety built into the design of roller coasters, as well as the lengths parks go through to keep them safe. I personally hope that one day all What Really Happened videos are like this one, with no injuries or deaths, but instead systems working as they are designed to catch an issue before it becomes serious, even though it may sometimes look scary. Thanks for watching this shortened episode of What Really Happened. As always, the entire accident report is linked in the description for you to read. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.